take these walls down.
Hello. Yeah, I'm like eating an orange right now, so hope these guys are happy sitting in that lobby for a while. Who's this other team that they're playing? eLusiV. Did we
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MLP cast for the semi-finals for Division C NA between eLusiV and Red 5 standing by. Joining me today once again, my Synderen, Mr. StinkyPie. StinkyPie, how you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Finally got to be able to see this match. We've made it semi-finals.
And surprisingly enough, everyone, as we were talking about before, is actually on time.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to see.
Literally impossible.
These guys, these guys are keen, right? They're in the semi-finals. They're ready to win some Dota.
Well, mate, we've casted both these teams, and if I remember correctly, both teams in the last games that they played that we were streaming, both stomped the other team. So this should be good because last time around it didn't feel like there was any competition for either of these teams, if I remember correctly. So this should be a good series, best of 3.
Yeah, I definitely remember eLusiV having a good run in their last series. So we'll see if they'll finally meet their match here.
Well,
I think Red 5 going into the playoffs, I think they didn't actually have the best record in group stages, but they've shown what they can do, and they're here.
Well, we can already see. There's a quick Warlock pick out from Red 5. We saw the Tinker and Invoker ban and the Silence of Viper ban. These are pretty standard. We've talked about this before, but nobody likes playing against any of those heroes. So this is a pretty standard ban for all the bans, really.
Yeah, I mean, the Viper Silencer ban as well, it's pretty much, you just don't want to have to deal with that. Some people are allergic to Viper, it seems.
And funny enough, we see Crystal Maiden pick up, which, in the pro scene, I believe, at the Kiev Major right now, is the most picked, most picked hero in the whole Major, I believe.
Yeah. It's one of those heroes you don't really think about banning, because it often doesn't deserve the ban, but all around just a pretty strong hero, especially in the early mid-game. Just running around, providing your team with that aura, using Frostbite to farm up early, and it also doesn't show too much about your strategy either, which is nice.
And there's something we've been seeing a lot as well, the Magnus pickup. So I'm not sure. Did you see the game? While we're gonna go a bit off topic. Did you see the game? The first game of IG. I think I can't remember who they were playing against. Where burning was like 1,000 plus GPM on an AM.
Yeah.
That was kind of silly, wasn't it?
That was one of the best performances ever in terms of GPM for a hero who was an alchemist, I think.
Well, I mean, look, they've got a Magnus. What I'm trying to say is with that Empower, that Magnus can be pretty much played as a position 4 if you really want now. I feel like, because the Empower is pretty much all you want, especially.
We've seen that happen.
Have we really?
Who was it? Yeah, we have. In Echo League, actually, a couple of days ago, Division A. In the semifinals for NA, they ran a position for Magnus, and I don't actually think they won that game, but that team, thanks to Breastfest, is now in the finals, so that's got to be worth something, right?
Well, it just makes
for
sense.
Magnus.
It kind of makes sense, because it's like, for the first start of the game, you could literally just keep empowering your carry, and Empower just never wears off, like it's always good. And then you've got this amazing RP for the late game. Like, everything about Magnus is good.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of the stronger heroes, and as you're saying in the late game, even just with 1 RP, but if you talk even later, you get a refresher orb, he's definitely one of the strongest heroes in the late game, by far.
We should comment as well. There's a Spirit Breaker there that they've picked up for second pick. You can see straight away eLusiV bans out the Lifestealer, so no Nakes Bomb happening with the Spirit Breaker this time around.
Yeah, Spirit Breaker is just a really strong pick, I think, especially in lower divisions. If nothing else, just bringing the Ruckus, and if I remember correctly, actually, they did pick this last time round.
I do remember something like that. The Spirit Breaker pickup. It's I suppose when you see a CM pick as well, it's not the hardest decision to go for a Spirit Breaker. Like, you can pretty much just destroy her all game if you get a decent start on a Spirit Breaker, I'm sure.
Yeah. Because it kind of works both ways, this Spirit Breaker Crystal Maiden matchup. On one hand, Crystal Maiden is just a really easy target to take down. You've got all that single target CC, you can easily interrupt her ulti if she ever starts channeling it. But at the same time, you do have Frostbite, which is a decent spell when it comes to interrupting charges, so we'll see if the positioning is there.
Yeah, and there's the anti-mage ban, so they don't want that farming AM with the Empower. I'm guessing because that Magnus, I mean, usually the thing is though, you would generally see a Juggernaut pick with the Magnus, right? Like that's what we've been seeing in the pro scene, so I'm surprised that wasn't banned out.
Yeah, I don't know. The anti-mage ban does seem a bit weird to me. Like you say, there's a lot of synergy there with the Magnus, but at the same time, Spirit Breaker is one of the better heroes when it comes to a pesky anti-mage split pushing. But at the end of the day, if an anti-mage gets huge, there's nothing that can stop him, Spirit Breaker or not.
Well, we see a Bounty Hunter pick, so they're hiding their carry for the time being. I'm guessing that's going to be the position 4 hero. Bounty Hunter, I mean, he's a good hero, and the track obviously allows the team to snowball, but it's dropped off a bit as of late. How do you feel about the Bounty Hunter pick?
Yeah, I'm assuming they picked this up sort of as a direct response to the Spirit Breaker to sort of match the roaming potential coming out there. But at the same time, in just a straight up fight, Bounty Hunter's pretty weak compared to the Spirit Breaker, so even if they do butt heads, I think Spirit Breaker is going to come out on top.
And then
all he has to do is run around with the dust. And I just looked this up actually. It was eLusiV in their last series who picked Spirit Breaker in both their games.
Oh, so maybe it's a block pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking now.
Well, we saw a Legion pickup. I mean, I'm not. I'm fairly sure we've seen Red 5 play this before. I'm not sure because we've seen a few Legions. I believe if my memory serves me correctly. I mean, there's not too much to say about the Legion, right? Like, there's not any counters there right now. Like, they haven't got anything special to counter it. But overall, it doesn't look like it's going to be like that strong. Like, there's not too many easy pickings either.
Yeah, I'm thinking their sort of mindset here is to use the Spirit Breaker, use the Legion, and both of them have got very good single target lockdown, and use them as some sort of engage while using this Warlock ultimate as their insurance policy. So they want to run around, group up as multiple heroes, find targets to pick off, and if shit gets real, then you drop the Warlock Golem just to beef up your team fight there. And if it's not needed, then you're perfectly happy with that. You just take a duel, you take a kill with the Spirit Breaker, and that's sort of their game plan.
It's a pretty decent game plan. There's that Juggernaut we were talking about, so it's I mean, it's an easy pick when you've got the Magnus. There's no real thought process that needs to happen. I'm intrigued. I mean, I don't know if Legion can take on a Juggernaut late game. But I suppose they still have room to pick up some cores and make it a bit more even for Red 5. Now, in terms of mids, it doesn't appear that eLusiV has. Well, it could be the Magnus, but we would assume it's going to be on the off lane. I would anyway. What are we thinking as a mid here for eLusiV? Because I think Magnus will be on the off lane.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of low on the, I want to say, sort of independent hero side, if that makes sense. So you've got the Bounty Hunter, you've got the Crystal Maiden, two heroes who don't really do too much on their own. And, you've got the Juggernaut, he wants to be off on his own. I guess independent is probably not the right word. I'm thinking some sort of early fighting hero for them where they can, really take advantage of this Crystal Maiden and Bounty Hunter in the early game.
Yeah.
And, they're going to be facing up against the Spirit Breaker, very notorious for his early game presence.
I'm just looking.
Someone who can benefit from that Crystal Maiden aura as well. So I'm thinking someone who uses spells too. So maybe Alina, a Shadow Fiend?
Yeah, well, that's actually a good point. I mean, SF, like you said, it really benefits from the mana aura. So that's gonna help him a lot. Obviously, Lena is extremely good at the moment, and so I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen it picked up yet. We saw a Spectre pick up, which I mean, that's taking Spectre is generally a pretty darn late game hero. So I'm a bit surprised we saw that. Like, I mean, it should beat the Juggernaut late game, no issues, assuming the Spectre gets some decent farm, I would assume.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's a bit dangerous to show a Spectre pick this early. Because, Spectres, as you're saying, this late game hero can get punished. But it does sort of fit with their game plan. So you can hold the Spectre back, have the Spectre continually farming, and you run around the map with the Spirit Breaker, the Legion Commander. And if it ever comes to this, you use the Hunt in a similar way to the Warlock column as sort of your team fight insurance.
Are we by any chance seeing a semi-global strat? Are we gonna see a Zeus mid pickup or something like that? I mean, this is pretty old school if it is.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
No, I was wrong.
That's pretty close, though.
Yeah.
Because, more often than not, we see Ember Spirits pick up the Boots of Travel. So one moment it could be a Legion Commander and a Warlock, and then all of a sudden you're getting charged by a Spirit Breaker. He shows up from nowhere, you get a Hunt on top of you, and then an Ember Spirit just with the Boots of Travel in your face.
Oh, my goodness. New hero.
A new hero, indeed.
We haven't seen this.
Yeah. Definitely one of the least picked heroes in Echo League, I want to say. I know he has been receiving some attention, at least for the group stages of the Key of Major, but I don't think he's found too much success there either. There is one thing about this tiny pick, though, is that it can do pretty well against Ember Spirit, because you've got all this burst damage coming out from Tiny's Avalanche and Toss combination. You can easily just chunk through an Ember Spirit shield. So if I remember correctly, maxed out Avalanche and Toss does maybe 600, 700 damage, depending on how many levels of Grow you have. And Ember Spirit's shield at max level is 500. So you can easily take through that and sort of take away his aggressive potential. And that's sometimes where we see Tiny as a counter pick to the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, and the point you made earlier about the CM aura, I mean, that's going to help Tiny a lot because he has massive like mana issues. So I suppose it's a good combo between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Well, allow me to go through the Radiant draft. So we have Geo. He's playing the Spectre. My goodness, forgot the hero name because it's been so long. Pigpen will be playing the Legion Commander. Spirit Breaker will be playing Jok Tongju will be playing Spirit Breaker. We have Ember Spirit being played by Slavic Donut. And finally, Met will be playing that support Warlock. And the Dire, if you will, please.
Yeah, we got Seven playing the Juggernaut here. Dancing Devil playing the Crystal Maiden, and with an Arcana, mind you.
Oh.
Dank Danish playing this Bounty Hunter. Sync on the Magnus. And our tiny new hero being played by Stellar Scone.
We have two Arcanas, so on the side of eLusiV. So I mean, we know what that means.
Oh yeah, easy win. 2-0, we're calling it now.
Not good news for Red 5 standing by. I was gonna ask though, prediction wise, who did you think had the better draft so far?
I feel like if eLusiV are able to get off to a good start, they've got these early roamers, they've got the Bounty Hunter, they've got Tiny as well. And if they're able to get off to a good lead, they get multiple Blink Daggers. If the Tiny can just run around the map one-shotting people, then they've got a really good chance of taking this. But I'll say if it goes more than, I don't know, like 30, 35 minutes, then sort of the team fight, the late game from the Spectre should be able to take it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And we just saw Bounty Hunter. He tried to get that bounty rune, snipe it from G on the Spectre, but unfortunately missed out on that. So it wasn't even bounty rune distribution. Already Bounty Hunter is at bot, and looks like he's going to harass the hell out of Geo to give Sync some time to get some farm in lane. So it looks like Spec might have an ugly start to the game.
Yeah, she does have two supports sitting around, but they really haven't done too much yet, and notably, none of them carrying detection. There is a Sentry Ward mid for them, so they're sort of protecting their mid lane, but, for now, it's just Bounty Hunters sitting around bottom lane trying to be annoying and deny Spectre that good start that you really want.
We see mid lane as well. Like you said, Tiny should have probably the better matchup once he's leveled up his skills a bit, but looks like Slavic Donut was trying to harass him out a bit. Unfortunately, copped a couple tower hits and screwed it up for himself, but I mean, we have to keep an eye on the mid lane. Tiny, as you said, it can be very fast. In fact, he's going right now. He throws a toss out. Slavic Donut, he's got 70 HP, and he walks away from a level 1 stun and toss combo.
Yeah, I mean, Tiny's received a couple of buffs here and they're actually top lane.
Yeah, Dancing Devil. Actually, there's a spin out. Pigpen being aggressive himself, but the thing is, people don't really realize, but LC's a decently good offlaner.
Yeah, you're one of the tankiest heroes at the early levels. Not the highest armor, but pretty high starting strength, so pretty high HP pool. As we're seeing now, you can trade very effectively with that moment of courage, just giving you that extra attack and the sustain. So, unless you're completely zoned out, if you're in some sort of, even-ish situation, you can often just straight up fight people.
Ooh, Dancing Devil. Almost got taken down from the Ember Spirit. And luckily for her, she managed to pick up a haste rune. Otherwise, that was definitely a death. So she got really lucky with that rune just then.
Playing with fire, quite literally.
Surprisingly enough, Dank Danish, he's sticking around bot, but Geo now being slowed up. No skewer quite yet, so there's going to be no attempt, but he's really not going to have the easiest lane, but he's doing okay in last hits so far. It just, it does feel like once that shockwave is maxed up a bit, Geo's probably not going to have the easiest time staying within the lane.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm really surprised that both our Bounty Hunter and Spiritbreaker are sitting down here. More often than not, we see them sort of roaming around the map. Mid lane's often where they choose to go, and this is a pretty volatile mid matchup. We saw how low these guys can take each other. They've got a lot of burst magical damage, so I really think that mid lane is where they should be focusing their attention. Both these guys just sitting down here, and now they're finally going to run into each other. As Spiritbreaker playing the lane support, it seems, just getting off to another pull yet again.
Yeah, I mean, thing is, the hero, like, they're always going to have vision from the bounty, so they're always going to know when that's happening. Now, in fact, Juk Tong Ju, which we're going to have to find a nickname for, because that's way too long. We're going to call him Juk. He's not going to have the easiest time pulling, and in fact, Sync will just get all the last hits out of that stack. And actually, there's a charge in. They're going to go on to Sync, there's a skewer out, and he'll be okay, but I mean, they don't have any detection, like you said. Like, they can't keep an eye on where Bounty's going.
Yeah, and, as we just saw, Magnus, a relatively slippery hero, he's pretty tanky in his own right, so it's just strange that they're focusing their attention down here, especially given the lack of detection. I'd really like to see the Spiritbreaker just pick up a dust and really put the pressure onto this Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually going. Now there's a charge in, and it's onto Tiny, but there's a TP coming in mid. And Dank's there. There'll be a charge, but that'll be it. In fact, Tiny turns around Stella. He wants to kill. Oh, he throws Dank Danish in. That's not the best position to throw him into, though. He's got no shuriken. Actually, it's only level 1, in fact. Stella Scone. He's still there. Stun out. Slavic Donut still surviving through all this. And Stella, he might be in trouble here. One more tower hit. No, there isn't one. He drops a tree there to try and block. Didn't really do too much. The TP's coming in from CM. And these trees, I mean, I don't think they were the reason he got saved, but maybe.
Yeah, just have a peace offering here. It extends an olive branch. But, this is sort of more like what I expected, having both these roamers in the mid lane. But that was sort of more of a defensive play from both the Bounty and Spiritbreaker here. So, I mean, we saw how low both these guys got. I think if either was actually taking the initiative, they'd quite easily pick up a kill.
Yeah, you're right. They're being quite passive on these roamers right now. That being said, I feel like Dancing Devil's here right now in the mid just in case, but Stella Scone, he's about to hit that level 5 mark. And actually, we just missed the first blood. And it's bot
Yeah.
lane sync with the skewer. He's going to get taken down as well, looks like Geo. He's in big trouble. No, he does get taken down. Geo's trying to back off, though. And looks like Dank, he doesn't have any mana for another shuriken, so he'll have to let that one go. But, yeah, we missed first blood. Apparently, it was onto Met.
Yeah, I was kind of watching that.
And
He sort of just ran straight in the face of this Warlock. You know, no detection. He's got it now, and that's certainly going to be useful, especially in this mid lane engagement.
yeah, Stellar Scone. He's making the chase happen. Did not use the toss. Now the upheaval from Met. And looks like Dancing Devil could be in trouble. There's a charge coming in. The chain should do enough. And CM, yeah, she'll get taken down. Stellar Scone, he has to stand there and watch his teammate die. Can't do anything about it.
That's more like it. We're finally catching up in the kill scores.
Yeah, well, we were talking about how they weren't doing anything, but now we're probably going to have trouble keeping up with kills because Pigpen at top lane, he's being spun on. In fact, the courier almost comes in and dies, and the Omni Slash will get the kill. My goodness. It's pronounced, or 7 even, I should say. He gets a kill solo by himself. Well done to him. And actually, skewer bot lane now. Geo almost gets taken down with the shockwave. There's actually a charge coming in as well. I don't know if the SB is going to keep going on this, because it doesn't look like Geo is going to really be able to do much apart from throw a dagger. But
Yeah,
I think
that's a
Sync will be okay.
pretty hard kill. He doesn't have the skewer though.
Oh, LC.
And here comes LC.
Yeah, she's got the jewel as well. This could be a big kill for them. They should be able to get the jewel. Sync's right there. In fact, he's holding on. Oh, the skewer! It doesn't matter though. It looks like he's going to go down anyway. And no jewel damage, so he saves himself from that side of things. But my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, that was a pretty well executed gank. The timing was pretty good. Pigpen also using the movement speed bonus from overwhelming odds there to get in range for that duel. Nice attempt from the Magnus too to skewer out, but unfortunately, Dota has some weird mechanics.
That was rather strange, but you've got to say, like, at the end of the day, he had no chance of survival there, but at the very least, he didn't give the jewel damage away, which I suppose you could claim to be a positive.
Yep. Forcing the rotation from the LC as well. Now she's sitting in the jungle, which gives this Juggernaut free reign over top lane. He's had a great time. He's level 8 at 8 minutes now, and I don't think this Warlock can do too much to slow him down.
No, he can't. And yeah, like you said, 7 even. Getting a lot of levels. In fact, Omni Slash almost off cooldown again. Dank Danish, he's back at bot lane to harass Geo. And they might be able to go for a kill sync. He's got the RP available with the skewer. And all the shuriken. They probably could have gone for a kill there if they really wanted to commit the RP.
Yeah, they don't really know who's around, and LC just shows up around the corner. Now she's got another duel, and here comes Spirit Breaker for another charge.
Well, this is exactly how they want to play. There's a skewer, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. This TP's coming in, though, and they could be in trouble bot lane now. Pigpen has to back off. There's nothing holding them in place. Sync doesn't have the skewer, nor does he have the mana for the RP right now. And Juk, he's there. He doesn't cop the stun. There's the RP, only onto the LC. Magnus very low. The jewel's there. Can they save him? The toss. It does indeed save him. Sync. He runs away with the jewel damage, but gets killed off now. There's a kill onto the bounty hunter as well. Stellar Scone, he's trying to back off. Slavic with the double kill. Meanwhile, Dancing Devil, he's almost dead. In fact, there will be a triple kill for Slavic Donut. And that's a pretty amazing start for an Ember Spirit.
Yeah, you'll take that, and that's going to put him well on his way to whatever item he goes for, be it the Veil, be it the Boots of Travel. Bit unfortunate that the dual damage went to the way of this Magnus, but they do take the better trade, all things considered.
And there's a charge at top lane now. 7 even. I think he's okay. But they're going to keep going. The jewel's not off cooldown, and yeah, they'll have to cancel that. In fact, Stellar Scone actually took out Slavic Donut at bot lane.
Yeah, he was walking onto the high ground. It was in the jungle there, so didn't have any vision and just gets one shot by this Tiny, as Tiny's do. And now he's level 8. This is where Tiny really starts coming online, and he's
SB.
approaching that Blink Dagger.
SB, he's in trouble. The Omni Slash community charges out. Can they stop him? Oh, the stun from Tiny. That was beautiful from Stellar Scone. What a predicted destination. It's not easy to hit a charged SB with that stun.
Yeah, it's got a fairly long cast sort of delay. And I guess it is an AoE, but just stellar play there, and that puts him well on his way to his Blink Dagger, actually. 1,600 gold and counting. He's gonna come online very soon, and This is exactly what you need to worry about if you're Red 5.
Yeah, well, look, CM, top lane, Dancing Devil has to back off. Now the spin comes in from 7 even, and Met actually looks like he's in trouble. There's no Omnislash. He's actually run the other way through the trees, trying to juke them out, but I think he's screwed himself a bit. Dancing Devil almost gets taken down to the overwhelming odds, and looks like Pigpen, he wants to chase for the dual damage. He's in trouble now, though. Dank Danish is there, and 7 even, still no Omnislash, but he has a spin, and yeah, he should go down here. The heal's there, though, and he's trying his best, and oh, the crit last hit. And they'll get the double kill on 7 even.
Yeah, a couple kills went else around the map, but we don't really care. Here's where the action's at. Magnus as well as Tiny going down, so gonna delay that Blink Dagger a bit. But I do see some problems coming out for Red 5. You know, their Warlock's still level 5 here. Not quite level 6, and while they've got some decent pickup, as we saw, you know, with the Spirit Breaker, the Ember Spirit being able to come in too, they're still kind of lacking in team fights. And they're going to have to start fighting head-on soon, especially once these Blink Daggers come online.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is going to be a problem. Tiny, he's very close to his Blink Dagger, and once things get going for him and the Magnus, I mean, things are going to get pretty crazy. And they are a bit behind. That Warlock not being level 6 is costing them probably the reason why they let him just solo offlane for a while to get that XP against the Juggernaut. Yeah. But this Jug he's farmed very well as well. He's got a Yash already.
And this is an Empower Juggernaut potentially, so extra scary.
Yeah. Not like he's not only is that extra scary for the other heroes, but he's gonna farm a lot faster once Magnus or Sync can just empower him every 2 seconds and let him go farm the jungle. There's a pause, it appears.
Yeah, Bouncy Hunter's just straight up DC here, so can't do much about that. We'll have to start the timer. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not too bad from the side of Red 5. You know, at the end of the day, they do have the Spectre, but you know, she's only got a Vanguard here, and that does enable her to fight somewhat early on. And against heroes like Magnus, there's often some very clear threats. You know, the Magnus, the Tiny, they've got very fixed burst damage. Similar story with Juggernaut and his spells too. And once those spells are down, you can quite, you know, easily haunt into a fight without fear. So I would like to see our Spectre get involved early. Perhaps once this Warlock, you know, gets his level 6, actually starts coming online. Because, you know, they've got an Ember Spirit. He's pretty strong. He's gone for the Boots of Travel first. And, you know, that's just even more global mobility. And we talked about this during the draft. That's sort of what Red 5 want to be able to abuse. They've got these nice pickup heroes. They've got a Legion Commander. Still a long way from the Blink, but, you know, you've got the Spirit Breaker very mobile. You've got the Ember Spirit very mobile. And if eLusiV try to react, you've always got this Warlock Golem and the Spectre Haunt to come in as your insurance. And I think that's really what they need to do. Because, you know, at this rate, if they just try to farm up and, you know, spread out, they're just going to get picked off by heroes like this Bounty Hunter providing the vision, like this Tiny who's going to have his Blink Dagger and 200 gold. That's where eLusiV are the scariest.
Yeah, and we did talk about as well, I mean, at the end of the day, even if things go really bad for Red 5, as long as they can delay the game, then they've probably got the stronger late game. Interesting to note, Geo went straight for a Vanguard, so he's not going for that kind of let's rush a Radiance build. He's actually gone for that tankier style build, so not feeling very confident with himself with the farm he got early game as well. So he is looking for a late game kind of Spectre.
Yeah, he will reach there eventually. It's, you know, just a question of how much they lose, if they lose at all by that point. And I don't know, I feel like when you go for this Vanguard build, you do kind of want to start fighting. Because if you're, you know, not overly concerned about getting bursted down, then I guess getting bursted down is kind of concern against this Tiny. But I think Vanguard is sort of more of a fighting item. There's more farm-oriented builds, such as the Helm of the Dominator, so provides similar amounts of regen, but you also get a Dominator creep to run around with. You get the attack speed, which is always nice, goes well with that Iron Talon that Geo's already picked up here. So I don't know. Another decision actually is this Ember Spirit going for the Boots of Travel instead of the Veil. He's got the Veil queued up right now. But in terms of direct fighting power, Boots of Travel doesn't offer too much. It's just 2,000 gold and no stats at all. And I feel like just given the two lineups, you'd want this Ember Spirit to be fighting very early on, making the space for the Spectre. I feel like the Boots of Travel build is maybe a bit too passive, especially if they're not going to use this global mobility to actually get off ganks, take advantage of the Spirit Breaker. So I would have much rather seen him go for the Veil before the Boots of Travel, but he's made his decision. He's already bought them, and at least that'll help his own farm.
Yeah. I mean, look, we could see him go aggressive, like maybe he's got it for the purpose of, SB Charge or LC Duel, and then followed up by him TPing in as well as the Spectre Ultimate. That's possibly what we could see, but like you said, if he's not gonna use it for that global presence straight away, it probably would have been smarter to go for the Veil. I apologize. I'm reading what 7 Even is saying.
I think he's trying to say that it's 7, but minor details.
Haven't I been saying 7?
7 even?
Yeah. Oh.
Apparently it's supposed to be 7.
Oh. Well, that makes me feel a bit silly, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, we're gonna have to start looking into pause times and stuff.
What happens if they run out?
They can't pause anymore. That being said, though, Red 5 could donate their pause time, and that's not unheard of. So we'll see if they choose to do that if it comes to it. It is hard sometimes. Just when your internet dies, there's not much you can have.
As an Australian,
to say about that matter.
As an Australian, we understand that very, very well. So I feel for him.
Oh. Sometimes when the power goes, you just don't have the power either.
He's coming apparently, so apparently he was a bit too excited. So we'll wait it out. Apologies to 7, who I was calling 7 even because I'm a moron. We'll call him 7 from this point on. In fact, 7 is a lot easier than calling him 7 even.
Does make some sense. Yeah, let's see how this Magnus is doing. Magnus is actually quite a long ways away from that Blink Dagger. He does have the Mana Boots completed, but Legion Commander here as well, quite a way away from that Blink Dagger too. So, it's really up to our mid laners here, and they're doing pretty well in farm, both of them actually. But, whereas we've got Ember Spirit going for more farming build, we've got, the Blink Dagger coming out for Tiny, so we'll see if he's actually able to get it done. If it doesn't pay off and he misses out on a couple of kills or even gets killed in return, then this Blink Dagger really will not have to pay off. And it's sort of an item which has to pay off for itself.
Yeah, I mean, are we seeing with the Tiny, is Stella, do you think he's going to go straight for something like the Aghanims after that Blink? Or is there another build that you do with a Tiny Blink?
Yeah, sometimes we see the Echo Saber come out if people just want some more straight up burst damage. Just getting that double hit in sometimes makes a difference between, say, an Ember Spirit being able to remnant out.
Sure,
but yeah, I don't know. At the same time, I think Echo Saber is sometimes a bit of a wasted item with this Crystal Maiden, because you've already got all that mana regen coming in, and yeah, Tiny's a very mana hungry hero, but just as Arcane Ore is normally more than enough.
Actually, I just thought as well, if you had the Aghanim Scepter on Tiny, and then you empowered him as well, that would be kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we maybe should have talked about during the draft, but all of Grow's damage is considered base damage, so it goes to the, I guess, white part of your damage instead of the green. And Empower increases base damage only, and it increases it by 50%. So this Tiny is going to be running around, just with from his ultimate, he's going to be running around with 300, 400 damage in the late game, and you increase that by 50%. So this guy is going to be hitting really, really hard later on.
Yeah, and he's he's probably just gonna take 2 hits to kill a whole team, especially if he manages to pick something up like a Daedalus later. It appears that there's been some words written in the map, which I can't read because of terrible handwriting. Play. He's online.
Alright.
We're almost there. I'm assuming they don't have much pause time left, but I mean, he's almost up anyway.
Yeah, I've got a minute or so.
Let's hope he doesn't DC again, because that's going to be painful. But what happens if they run out of pause time and the other team doesn't want to donate any?
Yeah, they just have to play on. It's pretty harsh, but that's just how it works.
That's fair enough. Can't be here all day. And now they're asking for the pause time, Stinky.
Yeah. Let's not get into this.
While we're waiting, what's the weather like where you are?
Starting to turn into typical British weather.
What, rainy?
So, very grey, very rainy, yes.
It is, I mean, this is probably not the, smartest thing to say that someone living in the UK, but it is freezing right now in Australia. Absolutely freezing. And there's Bounty Hunter.
Oh, there we go.
So, enough of this weather talk. It looks like there's a charge onto Stellar Scone while all that was happening. And they actually go in. Now LC's coming in, and Spec actually TP's in as well. And there's the duel, and Tiny will give away some damage to the LC. That's what we were talking about, that global strat.
And that's a good kill on the Tiny. They don't know it, but that was a Tiny who was 200 gold away from his Blink Dagger, and delaying that even further just sort of extends the longevity of their mid-early game.
Well, you could call that pause strategic, even though it wasn't Red 5 that had used it. It looks like they'll be going for the tier 1. The Boots Travel is out now.
Top lane.
Yeah, top lane as well. There's 7. He's copying we're spinning out, I should say. And Juk, he's chasing. There's a TP in from Stellar Scone. This could be bad. Oh, he stuns the wrong way. Only gets the golem. And it's probably a bit misfortunate because he may have been able to set up a kill there. Golem will end up going down, probably. Those hits are massive. There's a stun onto the ESP. Now the Frostbite. Not sure what he was doing there. The toss is there as well. Juk, it looks like he's going to go down. The spin, it will reach him. That's a dominating spree. 4-7.
Yeah, he tried to deny the Warlock Golem there, and I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it was definitely a bit silly.
Well, look, there's a line being drawn out on the map. It does look like Pigpen wanted to make some kind of go happen on the Juggernaut, but not going to be the case. Everyone's just going to go back to farming. But that Golem deny attempt, I mean, it's cool what he was trying to do, but very risky indeed.
I mean, we see exactly what the risk is. He just dies there, so...
Dancing Devil being risky himself, running straight through those neutral creeps, and nobody even thinks about attacking him. There was a charge onto Sync. They cancelled that now, but there could be a big team fight here. It looks like Pigpen's trying to bait them out. Sync, he hasn't got a Blink Dagger. He has got the skewer if he needs to set up for the RP, but very cautious play coming out from eLusiV right now. And they will back off. In fact, mid lane, Stellar Scone, he could be in trouble. He cops the dagger from Spec. The charge is cancelled, so the blink out was good. Oh, but it might not be over. They're running in now. It's a reinitiation. There's a charge onto Sync. In fact, it was the ulti. Now the RP only onto the SB. This is some real hate for him. Juke will end up going down. And Pigpen's here now. No Jewel available, I don't think. No, he does have it. And Omni Slash used. He actually kills off the Legion Commander. 7's on a double kill now. Unstoppable, in fact. Drops the healing ward. Geo, he's in trouble. Gets tossed up. And looks like Geo's going to go down as well. That's a triple kill for him. Met now, he's being chased. There's the track. These are all track kills, mind you. And Met, is he going to go down the shockwaves there? They took out the T1 while that was happening. Stellar Scone will get the kill. And, I mean, this is massive. They got a lot of gold out of that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. More than 2,000 gold just in terms of gain for eLusiV there. That is not good. And like you say, track kills, man.
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. There's a spin from 7. And this game has been extremely fast-paced, and it looks like eLusiV want to keep that up, but actually backing off, not willing to commit after they see the LC. And in fact, Pigpen, he's going to keep going. Dank Danish thinking about turning around, but will not do so. There's the charge. He's running into 5, though. There's a spin. Now the Spec ulti, and looks like Juke will be able to walk this off. Ember, he remnants him, but the CM ultimate, no, it's cancelled off the toss. The Jewel as well. Who's it even on? It was the CM. They got the kill. The Never Strike as well. What the hell is going on in this team fight? It looks like Dank Danish almost had the golems dropped, but it was really late. 3 down for the Radiant. And now Geo is trying to back off Med. He'll go down as well. It's a full team wipe. And the golem's there for the taking as well if they really want it.
Yeah, it was good for eLusiV to disengage there because the Haunt from Spectre was back up. The Warlock Golem just came up too, and that's part of why they were able to take that last fight so convincingly. But in this fight, even with the Golems being up, it just came so late. By the time, the Chaotic Offering got dropped, his whole team was pretty much dead.
I'm not sure if all that damage coming out was due to the, I forgot to consider the Empower. Being grouped up like that, like they would have copped a lot of cleave from the Tiny Juggernaut.
Yeah. Definitely from the Juggernaut. I don't think the Tiny's that much of an issue yet, but as you're saying, it seems like they're so desperate to force something. They all just charge the hell in. We saw Ember Spirit commit to Remnant and just dive straight into this Crystal Maiden, straight into that team fight. He gets taken out very early. And I do feel like they have to actually get something done there because they just lost a pretty bad team fight. They lost a tower, and now that they've got their ultimates back up, they need to get something done, but what ends up happening is they try to force the issue too hard. They go in 1 by 1, Spiritbreaker leading the charge with his charge. And, Warlock's just unable to keep up.
Yeah, and now there's a smoke up. So the Dire, they're sensing blood here, eLusiV. Blood in the water. They want to keep going. They want to keep this snowball rolling down the hill. And it looks like Pigpen could be the target. He's backing off. So it seems they're slightly aware of what's going on. Who's going to go in first? Dancing Devil. He's got the invis. Oh, sorry, Dank Danish has the invis if he really wants. And they've spotted out Pigpen. And 7 even. He's got the Omni Slash. He might just go into the SB. In fact, Juke, he'll be the target. He'll go down solo. He's godlike now on the Juggernaut. And 7 is he's having an absolute field day. Now the Frostbite. The CM's actually in trouble. The Jewel, she'll go down. Meanwhile, Stellar Scone took someone out in the back lines. It was actually Met, but that's a 2-for-1. They got the Jewel damage off the Crystal Maiden.
Yeah. I do like this from eLusiV. They knew that the Warlock Golem's down and using that smoke there. Oh, actually, he catches him in the trees. There's a Spectre running around in the trees here.
Yeah, Geo, I'm not sure what he's doing there, but they actually managed to find him. Can they get there, though? Stellar Scone, he's waiting for the Blink Dagger. Now he's got it off cooldown, but doesn't know which way to blink. Actually, yeah, he just blinks out of the trees. Not even going to bother trying to go for Geo. Little do they know, though, he has no TP.
That's fine. I think that's fine, because he can't TP there. The TP got interrupted. This is probably even better than killing him, because now he's stuck there for all this time he can't farm.
That's a very good point, in fact. Yeah, it's not even worth killing him. Just leave him be in the trees. Looks like Dancing Devil going to find himself Slavic Donut, but they're going to let him go. And this will be another tier 2, and with that Empower, they just do it so darn fast. Stellar Scone is hitting like an absolute truck, and he's got the Echo Saber to top it all off. It does appear that if eLusiV continue going this way, it's going to be a very fast Rax.
Yeah, and this is exactly what they needed. They've got these early game roamers. They've got the Crystal Maiden. Strong early game hero. You've got the track, and we've seen that come in multiple times here. Not just the gold going their side, but it does give a significant movement speed boost. And with these melee heroes, you've got the Juggernaut really just wants to run at people, chase them down the track. Really starts coming into play there.
Yeah, and Jug, I mean, those last 2 team fights they had, those massive ones, they gave over 2k gold to eLusiV each time. And Jug now has not only a Diffusal Blade, but a Manta Style after those 2 team fights. They're going to find Pigpen as well. He has a Blink Dagger, but he was not going to have enough time to react, and he should go down. In fact, there's a skewer and it almost saves him, but the Diffusal's there, the track, and it gives enough time to actually get the track off from Dank Danish, and that's another. I mean, he's still on a godlike streak. They're not really able to kill this Juggernaut.
Yeah, this is gonna be an issue for them. I mean, it already is, if nothing else. And this guy is really, really farmed. 20 minutes and he's got this Diffusal, he's got the Manta Style. That's probably one of the fastest Manta Diffusals I've seen from a Juggernaut here in Echo League.
Well, that tier 2, not gonna last the longest. It definitely has to be one of the fastest we've seen. And yeah, no, they're gonna. I thought maybe they were gonna force the tier 3, but I guess it's a bit early. There's no real rush. I mean, Juggernaut still probably has a while before he becomes ineffective as a carry against the Spectre, so looks like he's gonna be comfortable just farming it out for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, at this rate, they can easily take it late. Actually, Spectre's really struggling. Started off with that Vanguard, now going for the Radiance, but quite a ways away from that. And maybe this is sort of going back to their earlier game choices. The item on this Ember Spirit not going for the Veil couldn't really fight too well early on. Just other things like this Warlock not having that level 6, they just couldn't group up and fight around that. We saw this nice gank where they actually used their mobility and took out this Tiny in the mid lane right before he got his Blink Dagger, but I feel like they just haven't been playing to that strength.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, like, it does feel like I don't know how they're going to come back from here, because now you've got Sync, he has the Blink Dagger, he has the RP, which is always going to be available every 2 minutes. This Juggernaut is just way too far, and like, this Tiny is farmed pretty well himself. He's getting close to an Aghanims. He needs about 1.1k now. So it's going to be pretty hard for them to come back into this game from Red 5 side.
Yep. I think they do have the option of split pushing. You've got the Boots of Travel on the Ember Spirit, and he is an Ember Spirit after all, so that's worth something. You've also got the Spectre, and she can join fights with Hunt, but at the same time, there's pretty good solutions to split push. You've got now multiple Blink Daggers, even Juggernaut is running around with a Blink Dagger now, and I'm just not sure if they're actually going to be able to get it done.
Well, it looks like there's going to be a smoke here from the Dire end. They're grouping up. Dancing Devil's got the smoke. It looks like they're just waiting on 7 to back off from the mid lane, but he might get ganked off here if he sticks around. In fact, he backs off. And he's not going to join them quite yet. I thought they were going to smoke up, but looks like they changed their mind and they'll continue just farming for the time being. Mid lane, could be some action here. They're looking at Pigpen. And there's a smoke up. Sync. No, actually it wasn't smoke, it was Invis. No, there is a smoke. And Pigpen, I think he's in big trouble. The track's there. Now the toss stun combo and the skewer back, and of all people, goes to 7 again.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is an absolute monster. Beyond godlike now. He's quite comfortably at the top of net worth. And now they're going to head right into Roshan Pit.
Can I just say he's 12-0 currently. Has not dropped a death yet.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't really see how they're going to be able to kill him once he gets this Aegis. They don't quite have the tools that they need just yet. Spectre's trying to get up to that Radiance, but still more than 1,000 gold away from that. You've got Ember Spirit. Once he gets that Mel Shaman, actually not too far away from that, should be able to hold for a while just using that Sleight of Fist, but Sleight of Fist isn't maxed out yet either. And that's a pretty big difference in the cooldown between level 3 and level 4 of Sleight of Fist, so this could be an issue. Because here comes the push, and they're going to have to deal with this one way or another.
Yeah, no, I don't know, like, I mean, I'd have to say this is like the perfect time for them to push. Like, 7's just so tanky right now. He's as farmed as he can be at this time in the game for a Juggernaut. It's got the Aegis. They've actually backed off a bit. So, very cautious, but do you really think that the Die have a reason to be this cautious? Like, it really feels like they can just take a Rax at least right now.
Yeah, they've got really good tower hitters. You've got a Tiny, and of course, with that Aghanim Scepter, he destroys buildings. Put an Empower on him, I'm not even sure these buildings will last half a second.
Well, here we go. They're in mid lane. They're waiting on those creeps who are very far away. The Sleight of Fist being really annoying. Actually, Omni Slash onto the LC, takes him down, and he's jumping around the up here too. And look at the cleave. This is really bad. And SB, he'll go down as well. That's a triple kill for Stellar Scone. And that lasted about as long as... I don't even know what to say here. That was just ridiculous. Juggernaut, he's going to chase Geo. The Diffusal's there as well. And I mean, they must have to call this GG now. This looks ridiculously bad. Maybe not. Yeah. I mean, it's at least one Rax. In fact, it looks like it's going to be two. But yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to come back from this, Stinky.
I'm not sure either. A great play from eLusiV, admittedly. They had multiple Blink Daggers, and they really used them to their advantage. The track, as well as scouting out the Legion Commander on the high ground, they just all blink in, no hesitation.
It was absolutely beautiful. That is game 1 to eLusiV. Game 2 will be underway in just a moment. They're probably gonna take like a 5-minute break or something. But we'll be back with you guys in just a moment once we're in the lobby for game 2. So I'll be right back with you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 2 between Red 5 Standing By versus eLusiV for the NAC semi-finals. I'm here with StinkyPie. StinkyPie, how are you doing after that Game 1?
I guess sort of still reeling from shock and awe. It was a pretty amazing performance there from eLusiV. They sort of hit their timings. They just went with it. They played around cooldowns. All things considered, just pretty solid play coming out from these guys.
Well, I mean, it is a best of 3. Red 5 standing by. A lot of pressure on them now to win this second game. Otherwise, they are out for the count. eLusiV, we saw what a Magnus Juggernaut combo does. And, I mean, rightfully so, Red 5 standing by. They banned the Magnus immediately. Not willing to put up with it again.
Yeah, I do feel like a lot of that last game was in the draft. They had a couple of heroes who had some issues in the early game. Spectre, quite obviously, just not the greatest in the early game. They had a lot of long cooldowns to play around that Warlock Golem, and every now and then when they dropped the Warlock Golem, I think we only saw 2 chaotic offerings being committed, and they both didn't really result in a good trade for Red 5 standing by. And when you pick a hero like a Warlock, you have to make sure that you're getting good trades every single time the Warlock Golem is used. Otherwise, you'll just end up taking worse fights when the Golem's down.
Oh, there's a new hero. I mean, I was about to say eLusiV. They've got the Spirit Breaker, which we know they like to play. This time around, however, Red 5, they pick up a Lich, which is something we don't see too often. How do we feel about this pick?
It does make their lanes a lot stronger, but at the same time, against the Spirit Breaker, maybe it's not the best when it comes to straight up defensive rotations. You've only really got to slow. Maybe Frostheimer helps a little, but it does mean that if they're able to stabilize during the laning phase, they're just going to come ahead just from the sacrifice.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of Lich, isn't it? Like, you could literally have him top lane, always keeping that equilibrium, or you could just take him mid lane and ensure that your mid always has like the advantage, and taking that range creep away from the opposing mid laner. That's a big deal.
I mean, it's almost unfair to have a Lich in your lane, and I don't really want to use this word, but Lich is a disgusting hero sometimes. But at the same time, there are ways of punishing it.
Indeed there are. I mean, there is an SB at the end of the day, and he's going to have a field day taking out this Lich all game if need be.
Yeah, they've got a Disruptor to go with that even, and that's another hero who's sort of just a run at you, glimpse you back. They get the vision with the Spirit Breaker, they use the glimpse. It can be a very aggressive combination, and can be quite hard to deal with.
Well, we see the Nakes ban out this time around from Red 5. They don't want to have that with the Spirit Breaker, which is absolutely fair enough. I am concerned if they do allow the Juggernaut to be picked up by eLusiV again. And I was about to say this could possibly be a Drow strat from Red 5, but the eLusiV bans it out. Probably the smart thing to do as well.
Yeah, I mean, if as you're saying, they're able to sort of get off to a decent start, the Lich effect starts kicking in. This Drow could just run at you, take your towers, and just completely not care about the Spirit Breaker, because what Spirit Breaker really likes to do is pick off lone heroes. And we saw a bit of that in last game too. When you're running a Drow strat, especially with the Vengeful Spirit, the Lich, you just tend to group up and run around as 5, so very hard to run a Spirit Breaker into that.
And there's an interesting ban out, Bristleback. Could it be? I mean, you could argue that because of the Lich armor, maybe he would be even more impossible to kill. I don't know if that was the idea they had when they banned it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just don't think that hero's in a good place right now, and a large part of it is because of Silver Edge. And a lot of Bristleback's tankiness comes from that. Bristleback, there's plenty of heroes who don't mind picking up a Silver Edge, and they've already got Spirit Breaker, pretty decent hero to go with a Shadow Blade. Not too much of a stretch to get a Silver Edge from there, so I'm not too sure why they're afraid of this Bristleback.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. We're waiting for this third pickup now. Red 5, they've gone to reserve time. I'm intrigued to see. I mean, I really felt like it was going to be a Drow strat before the Drow was banned. Unfortunately, not going to be the case. Now the question is, what do they pick up?
Juggernaut's still in the pool, and that's a hero who can do well against Disruptor. You get the spin-off. It does sort of work both ways. Okay, I'm lost.
I'm guaranteeing you that was a Drow strat. In fact, we'll ask Red 5 afterwards if it was. I'm pretty darn sure that was going to be a Drow strat. I'm going to take a guess here. Alright. I'm going to say that this is going to be an all-out push lineup. I'm going to say I'm not going to be surprised to see if there's going to be like a Lycan pickup here. Nor am I going to be surprised to see something like a Beastmaster picked up.
Okay. Because I can tell you right now that with this Nature's Prophet, there is no way they can sort of take this mid-late game against the Spirit Breaker Disruptor. Those are two of the best heroes when it comes to punishing the split push, punishing lone heroes like Nature's Prophet likes to do. So I think you're spot on, actually. This is going to be a push strat.
This is how I would think, because I'm an idiot, right? So in games like this, I would just specifically choose push slash rat strats. That's just the kind of person I am. So I know when I see one, and I could be completely wrong here. We'll find out with this fourth pickup. Mind you, I love the Lycan pickup. If they chose Lycan, oh no, never mind, I was wrong.
Okay. So Slark's a good hero against the Baden. Just in general, at least as far as the matchup goes, you can just steal stats away the whole time from him. But at the same time, in lane, a Baden can sometimes be an issue for Slark, especially if he's got help from someone like a Spirit Breaker. And, the Disruptor as well, a pretty good hero to have against Slark. You find it very hard to jump someone if there's a Disruptor standing nearby, can just drop the Kinetic Field Static Storm on top of you. So this is a very strange Slark pick for me.
Yeah, and there's an instant TA. I mean, look, the TA, it does feel... I mean, Slark is a relatively good counter to TA, right? With the Dark Pact, I mean, the Refraction won't last very long.
That's true.
Sort of.
I don't even think the Slark is going to be an issue, though.
Well, TA is one of those heroes, right? Like, if it gets a good start, you're pretty much screwed. Like an early Deso, and you're completely screwed. Well, we're waiting for this.
So this is it's an interesting matchup. Like you say, Slark very good at taking away the refraction charges, but at the same time, TA just outputs a lot of physical damage in a really short period of time. So almost physical damage burst, and Slark early on honestly isn't that tanky. He relies a lot on his Shadow Dance for survivability. He's got pretty poor stat gain. You tend to not get the best stat items early on. Often like a Shadow Blade, a Echo Saber, two items which really don't give you too much survivability. And against a TA, if TA gets off to an early start, you can often just force a Slark away just with roll damage and force him to use the Shadow Dance. And if he can't kill you while his Shadow Dance is running, he's just going to have to run the hell away. So I do think TA is a decent matchup into Slark, all things considered, if you're able to get off to a good start.
I'm just reading the chat. There's a guy named Bannergox45. He's asked eLusiV. He's rooting for eLusiV, and he's also stated that they should bend Red 5 standing by and do them dirty. Bend them over and do them dirty. And I don't know if you know what that means, Stinky, but I mean, I don't think there's going to be any lubrication used in this instance. It's going to be painful.
This draft from Red 5 just seems all over the place.
Ooh.
Okay.
Terrorblade. This is This is bad, right? I mean, the eLusiV's draft seems very strong.
Yeah, definitely. They've got, maybe not the best team fight. They've really only got the Disruptor for that, but sort of in the early mid-game, they've just got so much straight-up pushing power, so much fighting power. I mean, Abaddon, once he hits level 6, can just be a beast in the front lines. Templar Assassin, once you get an early Desolator, maybe even an early Blink, you can just run around and kill people. And Terrorblade goes very well with Abaddon. If you get the Curse of Avernus up to a couple of levels, Terrorblade and his illusions just tear apart towers. I really don't see what the game plan for Red 5 is here.
Well, maybe this last pickup is gonna show us a bit of a secret. It appears. Oh my goodness! Well, excuse me. There's a hero we haven't seen in a while, Stinky. Mr. Razor is out.
Yeah. So first things first, I would like to point out that we have a very blue draft all across the board. I'm sure that's worth mentioning. But yeah, Razor, interesting hero there. It's a good counter to Spirit Breaker. Because every single time you get charged, your Unstable Current will proc, and that sort of gives it away. It's a bit of a 50-50 matchup versus Templar Assassin. Because on one hand, especially early on, TA doesn't have the longest range, so you can often get some decent damage with that static link off. But at the same time, you deal very high damage instances. Not the most ticks on that, even with your ultimate, for example. So that refraction can be pretty effective.
Yeah. I'll be a second. We've got John Expire in the chat explaining to me that I don't need to slide overlays on, but rather set up a hotkey for them, which is probably a smart idea instead of sliding stuff on and off the screen. I'll get him to help me out with that after the cast, I'm sure. I will quickly go through the Radiant draft. As usual, please go through the Dire. There's some good luck boys coming out. Dang Danish. He'll be playing the SB. We've got Stellar Scone. He'll be playing the mid TA this time around. We have Sink who's playing that offlane Abaddon. Danton Devil this time around playing the Disruptor. And finally, we have 7, not 7 even, but 7 playing the Terrorblade. And the Dire if you could.
Yes, we've got Geo here playing the Slark. Slavic Donut, mid once again on this Razor. Pigpen on the Nature's Prophet. We've got Met playing the Vengeful Spirit, and Juk Ju playing the Lich. And interestingly enough, Juk Ju has 2 Sentry Wards, and he's right next to an Enemy Observer Ward, so does he get this D-Ward off? That's the question.
I feel a bit embarrassed because they're making fun of the fact that I was calling him 7 even. So I am slightly embarrassed here. But we'll keep an eye on top lane. Dang Danish, he's in the front lines. Ready to go when necessary. And they're going to contest his top rune. I'm wondering who's going to have the better lineup for this. Interestingly enough, Met has gone for level 1 Wave of Terror rather than Magic Missile.
That's decent when it comes to early zoning. If you just want to, get the minus armor and just start right-clicking people, that's definitely the ability that you can go for. But at the same time, that's against an Abaddon, and Abaddon can just purge off that effect with his Aphotic Shield and really not care about that. And, it's not even just an Abaddon. You've got a Spirit Breaker up in this lane too. He's got the Stout Shield, so he's looking to just duke it out early on. And this is where the Slark pick is somewhat surprising for me. He's, they see the Abaddon, they see the Spirit Breaker, and while Slark has a decent matchup against Abaddon in general, the lane can be kind of rough. So I'm not sure that Slark's going to be able to find too much.
Yeah. Mid lane, I wanted to talk about this. Stellar Scone, he's using the Psyblades very effectively already. Who would you say has the better lineup? Like Razor against TA, who's always going to win?
I wouldn't say always. I want to say if you use the Slide Blades well, it's TA favored. But if you're, a lot of it is dependent on early levels, actually. This is how a lot of Razor matchups go. If you're able to get boots very early on, you can often run down a TA and just maintain that static link, but it does work the other way too. So I wouldn't be too surprised if either of these guys get boots before even, say, a bottle.
Good point. It's a good point. Actually, there's a Chain Frost coming. Not a Chain Frost, sorry. It was the Frost Blast. And Stellascone is in trouble here. The Link is stealing a lot of damage, and they might be able to kill him off. Oh, one last hit. And Jook, he's looking for it still. He has the Frost Blast available. It's just literally one Frost Blast till they die. Dank Danish is here now to try and help out. And they probably will go to the shrine after this. Maybe Stellascone? No, he's just going to stick around in lane. Oh, there's a salve from the SB, but pretty darn close to killing off that TA.
Yeah, I do like this setup from them, having the Lich up here, and not only does it help out Slavic Donut, it actually helps out Geo up top too, because it forces the Spirit Breaker to deal with him, and relieves pressure in other lanes as well. So, against Yabit on solo, our Star can hold his own. That's fine.
I mean, that I've got to say, this refraction really is going to help out Stellascone a lot, like we saw in the last kill attempt. And they go again. There's the Link again, slow. There's a block coming out from Jook, and the refraction again. It's just going to save him from most of that damage. And although it's stopping him from farming, at the end of the day, that he's not dying.
Yeah, it's definitely a win for Red 5, however, just keeping this TA down. That's probably one of the things that you're most afraid of in this game, is this TA getting off to a good start.
And Jook, he's going again. He's got no mana, but he's just going to throw some harass out. And yeah, that's a lot of damage. The Plasma Field, you really can't underestimate that. Actually, Danton Devil, no mana for Glimpse, but he's so close. Oh, the miss uphill. Oh, and now the charge is coming in.
You go for this. You never cancel.
Yeah, no, SB, he's going to go. I mean, he's a position 4 SB at the end of the day, right? He may as well trade. Jook looks like he's run the wrong way. And yeah, that'll be first blood. Dank Danish. And he even uses a bit of a taunt there.
That's a Spirit Breaker for you.
I mean, like you said, you never not go for that. It's just first blood as well. How could you not?
Even if it goes terribly, even if you die and you don't get the kill, you still go for it. Like, you definitely say worth at the end of the day.
Yep, 100%. Slavic Donut dealing a lot of damage to this TA. I mean, that Plasma Field being a real headache. We actually see a charge coming out from Dank Danish onto the bot lane, and Pigpen hasn't realized it yet. Now he will, but there'll be a glimpse available in Danton Devil. And do they want to commit to it yet? No, not yet. The Metamorphosis will be enough now. No, there it is. Pigpen will actually end up going down, and it'll be 7 who gets the kill, which is exactly who they wanted to give it to, I'm sure.
Yeah, and popping this Metamorphosis actually couldn't come at a better time, because now they can push into this tower. They've got the Metamorphosis running for quite some time. And they've got a Siege Creep too, so... Okay, so now they can just go when Glimpse is up again. Actually, he's out of mana, so that's probably not going to happen. But
I mean, he didn't level up the Conjure Image on the Terrorblade, so he's not really looking to push too early. Actually, there's a bit of a thing going on Stellascone. He's in trouble. He's been surrounded and gets taken down. The charge still coming in. Dank Danish is probably overextended a bit. The Frost Blast is there, and I think this is enough. They'll be able to get a double kill here. There's the Tree Sprout. And yeah, that'll be a kill on Jook as well. So that's 2 dead for... I mean, I don't feel like SB probably needed to keep charging.
yeah, certainly not after Stellascone died there. This is one of the things about Nature's Prophet, though. You can join fights very early on. But yeah, another thing about Nature's Prophet is if the fight comes to you, you're often just dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's working out for them for now. I'm just a bit worried about what this Nature's Prophet role is going to be later on, because he's going to have to try and split push against the Spirit Breaker and the Disruptor, which is a very hard thing to do.
I mean, we've got a comment that Nature's Prophet was out of meta for so long, and then Ice Frog comes around and says, here's 6+ base damage, and suddenly he's completely useful again. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Dota's sometimes a game of inches, and sometimes inches comes in the form of 6 base damage. Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's a good point. Slavic now, we should point out in mid lane, he's kind of gotten that one-on-one matchup he wants, but he's struggled slightly in farm. He's slightly behind the Razor, and I think top lane there's a bit of action. Sync, he's almost dead, and he will die. There was a bit of a latch on. Now the charge comes in onto 2. And it looks like Met. Oh, he cops a 17% bash. And there's the glimpse. And Met, he will go down for this. Juke, you've got to back off. No, they'll sprout the Dank Danish. And Dank, can he charge out? He has it available now. They actually managed to kill off Juke in the backlines on Dance Devil. The pounce misses. Geo's going to be kicking himself here. Now the charge. He has Dark Pact available but doesn't use it. Geo, he's in big trouble but he'll walk it off. Sync, he's making the chase happen. There's a slow. Now Met, he'll TP in. There's another TP in coming on the Lich. And he's a bit slow but Juke's there. The Frost Blast. Can they get Sync a second time? Looks like they might be able to. There's no level 6 available. Look, and the shield, yep, no, he'll be okay. Met cannot get in range for the stun. And that'll be the end of that, but fairly even, I'd say. It was 1 for 2, actually. eLusiV got the better trade.
And this is with them bringing in fewer heroes, actually. They've got this Terrorblade down here the whole time, whereas Nature's Prophet had to rotate up there. So definitely win for eLusiV. And that's just sort of what happens when you've got this Spirit Breaker, Abaddon. Just 2 beefy heroes running at you. They've both got shields on them. What can you really do about it? You know, we're saying Lich, yeah, he's good for the sacrifice. Yeah, he's able to offer quite a lot in lane. But when it comes to actually straight up fighting, not the best hero there.
No, and I'd like to comment. Oh, there's a glimpse of top lane. Geo has to pounce out. Now a charge onto the Lich, and Juke, he's going to turn around. Oh, the 17% comes in. The stun from VS, but I think Juke's screwed here. No, he'll walk it off. The slow wasn't enough. And they're looking to turn this around. They actually sprout Dancing Devil, who started hitting the neutral creeps, and he will actually go down. So Juke gets out, and they get a return kill on the Disruptor.
So that's not terrible, but at the same time, that's a 5-man rotation. They once again TP'd this Nature's Prophet up. They even TP'd the Razor this time, and this leaves good old Terrorblade all alone. He's taking this tier 1 tower, and he's not even having to pop the Metamorphosis for it.
Oh, Dank Danish, top lane. Oh no, it looks like Disrupt the Dancing Devil. He gives up his life to save the SB. And, I mean, look, like you said, they'll get the tier 1 at top probably, but they're going to lose 2 of their tier 1s. And Terrorblade might even go for a tier 2 because he still has the Metamorphosis available.
I don't think that's a good trade at all. They're missing out not only on these towers, they're missing out on farm, on experience. It's quite a big deal early on, and even though they've got a decent pushing lineup there with this Nature's Prophet, with this Vengeful Spirit, it's early days yet. You know, we're 8 minutes into the game. Unless you've got, absolutely amazing heroes for pushing, I'm not sure you want to be grouping up as 5 men this early on.
Well, to make matters...
This is... Yes, sorry. This is sort of where Slark just becomes a weirder hero as well. Slark's a hero who needs some space, needs some farm, needs a couple of items to actually come online, and really does not fit this sort of 5-manning lineup at all.
Oh, Juke, he's in trouble bot rune. There's a charge coming out as well, and Stellar's probably could have done it solo, but the stun really helps, and Juke, he'll get taken down. No, there's going to be no rotations for that, and there's the Metamorphosis of bot lane as well. Terrorblade, he's feeling very confident, and I don't think anyone can really stop 7 from just taking this tier 2. Now there's a charge up into the Nature's Prophet, and Pigpen, I think he's screwed. The Sprout's there, but now 7's rotating around, and yeah, Pigpen, he's going down. He has no chance, and this will mean the tier 2's opened up for them.
Yeah, it's we're starting to see why Nature's Prophet is not a good matchup into Spirit Breaker. If you've got the vision, you're pretty much dead.
Well, I mean, look, he essentially went for a green character on a blue draft, so that's just not. I mean, that's clearly what went wrong here, right?
So I've had this debate before, and Nature's Prophet does look a bit blue to me, and maybe that's what they thought, but I have been told that Nature's Prophet is more green than blue, so you're probably right in that regard.
Well, he literally has a line that says go green, so I think there's no contention there. Actually, mid lane, Slavic Donut, he was in a bit of trouble, but oh, the Chain Frost coming out onto 3. This is massive. They're turning this around. Stellar's he's man fighting this. It doesn't bounce again, but they're going to get a triple kill here, I think. Dancing Devil will end up going down.
That's probably the single best Chain Frost I've ever seen. That literally didn't bounce to any creeps. He got maybe 7 or 8 bounces off of that, and turning that right around, that was kind of amazing, actually.
Yeah, and mind you, while this is going on, 7's just pushing bot again. This man's not really concerned about what's going on around the map, and it looks like Juke, he's come in. This could be the first gank attempt on 7. And there's Med as well. He has the swap. Can't reach him though. And that'll be it.
This is another problem, which kind of comes to mind with Red 5 draft. It's not too big of an issue. They've only got 2 heroes who can stop TPs. And only the Venge Stun, the Venge Swap, and Lich's Chain Frost can stop TPs. So when the Chain Frost is down, and they should know it's down, but they have no way of dealing with that. So he can just get Sunders off, you know, you can TP out of places. There's not too much control
Speaking of
coming
Sunder,
out from the side of Red 5.
Speaking of Sunder, he literally just used it, and Stellar's going, look at mid lane. He's had 168 damage stolen, and Dank Danish actually charges in, but he's got to be careful. Slavic Donut, he's going to deal a hell of a lot of damage. Stellar Scone, actually, they're hitting random people at the moment. Donut, he actually managed to walk out. No, it was Dank Danish that walked out. Slavic Donut gets the kill onto Dancing Devil, and they've got no detection. Oh, Stellar, he walks out and gets killed anyway.
It was a bit comical seeing TA deal literally 0 damage there after having all her damage drained away by this Razor, but well, that's a lot of heroes once again rotating into mid.
Oh,
and you know, they do get the kills, but
Met, the courier, no, it'll fly off. The stun's there, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Met's got to be careful that TB just doesn't turn around here. And no, that'll be it.
Yeah, I really think we need a TP scroll here on 7. It's you know important not just for getting out of sticky situations. And we're saying you can TP out of a lot of things, but just in general, having a TP is something which is very exploitable by the ME team. If they see you pushing a tier 2, say if they know you don't have meta and you can't trade, they can just go for an objective on the other side of the map and you're not going to be able to respond.
I'd like to make another point about the well, not the draft this time. We've already confirmed that Nature's Prophet pick was a mistake, but there's actually Dank Danish against another character called Slavic Donut. So we've got the Donut versus the Danish. What is your preferred food?
I'm definitely a donut man.
Yeah, Donut's definitely
at the same
more
time
universal.
though. How should it depends on freshness.
I mean,
so a fresh donut is really good.
Well, in this case, it's a Slavic donut. How does that change what happens, or like does that change your opinion? You ever had a Slavic donut?
I have actually.
Oh.
At least I've had a donut made by a Slavic person. Does that count?
I would say so. I'd say if a donut was made by a Slavic person, it would then make it a Slavic donut.
Okay, in that case, then yes, I have, and it was pretty good.
Have you ever had a Dank Danish?
I have had multiple Danishes, and they were pretty dank. Does that count?
I'd say if they were dank when you were eating them, I dare say they're a Dank Danish. Comparing both of them, would you say the Slavic outweighs the Dank Danish?
Don't put me in this position here.
I really have to stop. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Let's ignore what I just said. There seems to be a pause. What the hell is going on? Oh, looks like red, they want to keep going. So a bit of reality kicks in for the eLusiV boys. Oh, you're starting drama here, Stinky. You're starting drama here.
I mean, that's not the intention, but that is how it works.
Yeah. Well, look, he's reconnected anyway, so there's no issue. Dank Danish probably gonna be wondering what the hell is going on and why the game wasn't paused, and will probably start raging at his teammates, as you do, as any team would. Sync top lane. He's gonna defend the top from the Nature's Prophet. And looks like there's going to be a gank attempt onto Stellar Scone here to swap the stun. No, there was no stun in fact. He is invis. No, they have detection though. The sentry's there. Stellar Scone. Oh, the Disruptor ultimate doesn't really catch anyone. The charge coming out on Met. And they're going to turn this around, I think. Slavic Donut, he was glimpsed back. He has a lot of damage. The charge hits on too. And Geo's there as well, of all people. The Chain Frost does really nothing. It's still bouncing though. And they go on to Met with the Never Strike. Nobody's dead quite yet. The Nature's Prophet ulti as well. And I think that'll be it. Everyone just walk off.
Yeah, lots of ultimates being committed. Not quite having that amazing Chain Frost as last time. Unfortunately for him, TA hiding in that meld means that he doesn't go down, but we're not done actually.
Oh, I'm not even sure what Met's doing there. Was not expecting that, but it looks like he's dead.
Yeah, that's a bit questionable. I'm not gonna lie, that's just straight up questionable. He had a ward, so I'm assuming he was going to ward, but he was so low in both health and mana. Didn't even have the mana for a TP out, so there's pretty much no way he escapes even after he gets that ward down.
Oh, and there's a charge coming up, but I can't hear who it's on. It's actually at bot lane, Pigpen. He was pushing that lane pretty far. In fact, still going with those treants, but looks like SB will be there to clean things up at the bot lane. And yeah, mid lane, tier 1. It will be denied by the looks of it, unless Stella wants to go for it. No, does not make it in time, unfortunately, and they will have to back off.
Something which has been a bit surprising to me is how effective this Nature's Prophet has been. Actually, we're missing a couple of kills there.
Yeah, Dancing Devil actually gets taken out. 7, he's actually just backing off, but no, the stun's there. He'll die for the first time. No, the Sunder's there in time, and Slavic Donut's in massive trouble. Will he get killed off? No, he doesn't. No, he does, and that's a good double kill for 7. At the end of the day, he loses his life, but gets the Razor for the trade. And
Yeah,
yep.
I don't know. I just feel like if they had just walked slightly further away on this Razor, he would have lived. I'm pretty sure it was Reflection that he died to at the very end there. So that's a bit unfortunate for him. But taking down this Terrorblade is a huge kill. Terrorblade's by far the most farmed hero in this game. He's top of net worth, top of last hits, and taking him down there while he's got the Metamorphosis activated actually means that he doesn't have the Metamorphosis for any following fights.
Bot lane, Dancing Devil, he gets trapped up. Oh, and he glimpses him away. I was gonna say, I didn't want to interrupt you, but did you see what happened at bot lane?
Yeah.
That's a real shame. And Met, he could be in trouble here. No, it's just Sync. I mean, that creep block, his own creeps block him in place. How disgusting.
That's a classic situation, though.
Well,
and, you know, using the Static Storm there, that's a pretty big deal.
yeah, it
So
is.
they won't have Static Storm or Metamorphosis for this next fight. They actually might have to just give up this tower.
Well, it doesn't look like they quite want to yet. That being said, Sync is backing off Dank Danish. He is charging out. Oh no, Slark jumps in, and the ulti is committed from Sync, but the stun is there as well. It looks like Sync's actually going to get taken down here. Yeah, he does, and they're not going to make a defense attempt now, I don't think, but top lane, Pigpen's in trouble from 7, and 7's literally chasing him down just without Metamorphosis, but oh no, he uses the TP accidentally to his tier 1 tower and gets killed off.
No, that was Terrorblade's TP. He was trying to use the Quelling Blade to cut through, but he accidentally used his TP instead.
See,
there was no TP on Nature's Prophet.
I thought it was, and then I'm like, but surely, like...
Yeah, there's no way, right?
Yeah.
And misclicks happen, accidents happen, and ends up losing a TP for it, which means that there's no TP actually for him to defend this bottom tower.
That's a good point, actually. So he'll have to keep pushing. He does have the Metamorphosis, and this is a Terrorblade, though. So Geo will TP.
That's true.
But I mean, really, he could literally just turn this around and Metamorphosis if he really wants to charge a bot lane. Now the ulti from Disruptor, the Chain Frost as well, and it's jumping through all of them, and they'll take out the SB first. So Dank Danish will go down. Sync, he's in a bit of trouble. The Glimpse really does nothing. They're going to keep chasing here. The Kinetic Field might save them. Sync, he might go down as well. Disruptor went down, and he does. But actually, Stellar Scone, he's in the backlines, gets a double kill now, and he's going to start chasing
Double
Juke.
damage TA.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Just destroys him. That's a triple kill.
That's even the Vengeful Spirit aura on him.
Wow. That's a kill. That's a triple kill right there.
Yeah, at the same time though, Terrorblade top lane popped the meta. He, the Slark TP'd out very early, and with Okay, yeah, okay, forget it. The Slark's got a Shadow Blade coming out to him now. I swear the Slark had a Shadow Blade earlier, but I looked at his inventory for half a second. I'm like, where's his Shadow Blade? But yeah, now he's got the Shadow Blade. And, you know, the Slark jumped onto this Terra Blade. They used the Nature's Prophet TP, and they were able to take down this Terra Blade. So all across the map, although they lost that bigger fight on the bottom, they end up trading 3 for 4. And they do take that tier 1 tower, whereas Terrorblade barely dents this tier 2. I mean, put some damage on it, but it's really not that big of a deal. And once again, Metamorphosis popped.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a charge at top lane. Pigpen again. He's in trouble here. And you did talk about how the SB is a pretty damn good hero for global heroes like the Nature's Prophet, and Pigpen, he gets taken out straight away. Meanwhile, at the Bounty Rune, looks like Dancing Devil wanted to steal the rune, didn't get away with it. Now Geo turns around with the pounds and the Shadow Blade. Ulti committed, but Kinetic Field completely whiffed, and that'll mean the Slark just walks away from this scot-free.
Yeah, bit unfortunate on that miss there, but here come the reinforcements.
Yeah, Slavic Donut. Link is broken, and I think that might be it. They should not be able to catch Sync here. Stellar Scone is running in as well from the sidelines. And that'll be it, but very five-man-y game right now. There isn't Metamorphosis not available quite yet. 20 seconds away, but it looks like they want to go for a fight here. He does have the reflection. He does use it, in fact. This is going to be massive if they can pull something off here. And Stellar Scone, the Chain Frost is there again. It's going to start bouncing. Sync, he's in the middle of all of it, but he's okay for the time being. And looks like 7, he's been latched up. No Sunder used. And there's 2 down for the Dire, 2 down for the Radiant so far. Slavic Donut, he's man-fighting all these people. He takes them up at Stellar Scone on a double kill Mega Streak. And Geo looks like he's going to go after Stellar. And he knows where he is. Oh, now Pigpen, he could get taken down here. Stellar, he's going to have to man-fight this. Almost takes him down. 1 hit away, and there's the taunt from Pigpen. He's going to be loving himself right now.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well for them. A large part of it was this Slark just getting straight onto this Terrorblade and taking him down before the Sunder was used. And there was an opening for him to turn around and use that Sunder, so if anything, slight misplay coming out there from 7. Perhaps he was afraid of the Slark using his own ultimate, but he actually didn't have the mana or the stick charges at the time to support that. So maybe some mind games coming in here. He does end up getting taken down, so Terrorblade out of that fight very early on. And it's a very clear win here for Red 5.
Well, see, that's what I was wondering. That team fight, I was sitting there thinking to myself, why is Terrorblade not using Sunder? Like, why is he holding on? And I assumed the same thing. Like, he's probably scared that the Slark's going to turn around and ulti, but still, you'd think he would just throw the Sunder out there.
Yeah, to be fair, it's sometimes unexpected if you're, oh, hey, I'm kind of low. He was taking some Chain Frost damage earlier. I'm kind of low. I can get an aggressive Sunder. So maybe he's looking on someone else on the enemy team and just doesn't spot the Slark coming up behind him. And part of that's the lack of detection. It is a pretty fresh Shadow Blade, and Spirit Breaker, and Disruptor, both got dust now, but they don't have sentries. So I feel like, against the Slark, you do need the sentries to be able to take fights.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Sanjin Yasha now available on Slavic Donut. So we did see a buff to that recently, and actually he uses it on Sync, and the ulti is committed from Sync. Is there a swap available? It's not in range. The kinetic field, actually Pigpen's here, the glimpse out straight away, the charge, and almost kills off the Disruptor. They're still chasing Sync meanwhile, and I don't think they can get the kill here. No, they won't. And there won't be any reinitiation. Everyone's way too low for the time being, so they'll have to back off.
This is a really strong point for Razor now. I do like the build coming out from him. Very cost-efficient stat items, the Dragon Lance, the Sanjin Yasha, and now he's going to beef up with a Shiva's Guard, which is very important against all this physical damage, all the minus armor coming out from this TA and Terrorblade. Yeah. So I do really like the build that he's going for.
We should point out the TA does have a Blink Deso now, and 7, he's a bit surrounded. He's going to find Met. Use the reflection. Now actually turns around, wants to have a go at him. And there's the charge out as well. So no Meta committed quite yet. Now there it is. And yeah, Met, I think he's a bit screwed here. Slavic Donut thought about trying to help out, but really won't be able to. Now he tries to. And he's got to be careful not to die here. The Nether Strike is available on SB, but Seven's not really helping him out because he's attacking Pigpen. He will take out Pigpen at the end of the day. Dank Danish still trying to back off. Now the Chain Frost comes out. There's a Sunder available on 7, but the Chain Frost is still going. And 7, he's mad fighting this Juke. He's almost dead. There's the glimpse. And 7 looks like he'll be able to get a double kill here. And he remains alive. The Treant's not able to finish the job.
They're even going to commit the Static Storm here just to kill those Treants a bit faster and make sure that they keep their Terrorblade alive.
Oh, Stellar Scone. He actually just blinks in, destroys that Slavic Donut as well. And this should be a tier 2, I think. I don't think they can stop this.
Yeah, there is going to be a Sunder on this Terrorblade once again. I wonder if he uses it on one of his teammates because he is falling dangerously low here.
It is one of those
Not
things.
sure if he's even going to need it, however.
It is one of those things, though, like, it's almost like a bait, right? It's like, come kill me, and then you get sundered, and then suddenly they turn it around. So, it's a scary thing. Pigpen, actually, top lane. He's, I thought he was going to have a go on Dank Danish, but decides better of it. He does have the Orchid Malevolence, though, so...
Oh, he's getting painted out in the trees here. They actually have a rough idea of where he is, and they've got the Disruptor coming in. Kinetic will find him.
Oh, they find him. There's the glimpse, and it's going straight back into that kinetic field. Now the charge, and yeah, he's completely screwed here. Tries to sprout himself, but Pigpen, I don't think he has any chance of getting out, and he tries to TP. It was a good attempt.
Yeah, he started up the taunt there. I mean, you know, this is just why these two lineups have got, you know, it's interesting because we've seen this from both sides. We've seen Terrorblade try to go and split push off on his own using that Metamorphosis. He ends up getting taken down. But, you know, with the same story for this Nature's Prophet, tries to get some split push going and ends up getting taken down. And, you know, we've got two teams who have got, you know, some decent team fight, I want to say, but at the same time, not the best either. And instead, you're running around with heroes like the Spirit Breaker, great global mobility, same for the Nature's Prophet. And, you know, you can just make a similar argument for the Slarks. A really mobile hero just wants to run around the map. So it's just interesting to see how these teams are playing around it. Because at the same time, if you show in lane as a Nature's Prophet, you know that eLusiV are going to come hunting for you. And that's exactly what we saw happen there. But then that opens up this map for the Slark, and right now we see him chasing down Stellar Scone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we've got another DC. Vengeful Spirit this time, unfortunately, has died. So Met, his internet, see you later. Stellar, like you said, looks like Gio's gonna have a go onto him, but I don't know. Like, it feels like Stellar could probably walk this one off. The refraction makes it so the blink doesn't go on cooldown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he could probably just blink it off if he has fast enough reaction time.
You're probably right. Especially considering that he's sitting under a sentry, so it's going to be a very small window for Gio to actually get something done.
Oh, the lines are being drawn out. They want to fight this from the Radiant end.
There's no Nature's Prophet, but once he respawns, he can just TP right back on in.
But there's also no TPs on Sync or Dank Danish, so you can make the claim that Dank Danish could probably just make a charge down, but Sync's going to have to run get a TP, and that is about 5 seconds wasted.
Yep, that's a good point actually, and that's something which I've found, I guess, missing from the side of eLusiV. You know, it's not the first time we've talked about Terrorblade's TP. Maybe they need to pay more attention to actually having TPs, and he's got one right now in his backpack, no less. So that's going to be an even longer cooldown there.
Well, it looks like we're about to get going again. Just waiting calmly. G. Alright, looks like we're going to go. We'll see if Gio wants to have a go onto Stellar Scone. Blink straight away and a TP out, so he's aware of what's going on. The Disruptor's the one in trouble now, Kinetic Field, but he actually just runs into Gio. The glimpse is there. Can he walk this one off? I don't think so, but it looks like he's actually managing to for the time being. Dancing Devil running for his life with that Raptor. This could be a reinitiation. They commit the Chain Frost, and it's going to keep bouncing only onto the SB, though. And now there's the leash from the Razor. And yeah, it looks like they'll get a double kill for that, so And a tier 2, mind you, as well, by the looks of it. So that's pretty darn bad for eLusiV.
Yeah. Pretty long timer on the Spirit Breaker.
And it does really appear like they're not going to be able to stop this tier 2 going down. And they're pushing the tier 2 at top, so they're getting a bit of a trade going. And it is Terra Sync at the top lane, but tier 3 will be the next target. They're not backing off. They're going to force the eLusiV side to get back. The question is, will they get back? 7 is making his way back, so they do want to fight this somehow. Tier 3 is going down though, so Red 5, they're doing some pretty good things right now. The meta's used.
Okay, they just need to get out now.
Yeah.
As long as they get out, fine.
Met, he's been trapped up here. Will get hit down, and oh, Pigpen, he jumps in for no reason. Now he's getting charged up. He's definitely dead. I can't imagine he survives this. And I mean, like you said, they stuck around for quite a while.
Yeah, and you know, they started on the racks, they did some damage, but I think they should have just taken the tier 3 and backed off. Especially once they see this metamorphosis come out. You know, you've got to respect the glimpse on this, you know, that was what killed the Nature's Prophet there. You've got to respect the glimpse coming out from Disruptor here. And, you know, as long as they don't get too much out of this metamorphosis, then you're fine, as long as you make a clean escape.
Well, I mean, they've overextended. They got the tier 3, but the 7, they're going to keep going. The metamorphosis is over. The tier 2 looks like it's going to go down. The Frost Armor is there. There's a pounce in Geo. He actually manages to get TB, and they can't get the Sunder off. The Disruptor ultimate's pretty big though. They get the Slark. Now they're going to change Slavic. And actually, Terrorblade's still alive, mind you. My apologies. I was completely wrong. They actually killed the Disruptor. And the tier 2 now will be the target. 2 down for the side of Red 5. And they're going to keep going. Met will back off. 4-star's back up. But Stellar's going. Oh, blinks the wrong way. No, actually gets him the right way. And the trap, he doesn't want to keep chasing, but this does allow the tier 2 to go down. And they may even force the tier 3 from their end now if they really wanted to. And it doesn't look like they will. Oh no, maybe they will. No metamorphosis, but the Sunder is up.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get some damage.
No buyback.
I wonder if they... Yeah, okay, I thought they would just buy back on this Razor.
Now the question is, will they keep going for racks? Because they really can if there's no buybacks. They jump on to Pigpen, who cops a lot of damage. But no, it looks like they're going to be satisfied with just getting an equal trade.
I feel like there were a couple of mistakes coming out from either team. The first one being that eLusiV decided to go for that tier 2 tower. And I feel like Roshan would have been the much easier alternative. They've got a TA with a Desolator. They had Metamorphosis running. And we saw Metamorphosis expired just before they went on this tower. But, you know, the mistake in return from Red 5 was fighting there. They had, you know, maybe 5-10 seconds on the respawn for their Nature's Prophet. They could have just waited for that. And I feel like if they had done that, they would have a much better chance at taking that fight. Instead, they choose to fight at the tier 2 instead of just giving it up. And they end up losing the tier 3 for it.
Stella, he's gone into the Roche pit with the Terrorblade 7, and there looks like there might be a Roche pit fight. The Dire are coming in, but it's going to be too late. And we should point out that the Terrorblade has now Eye of Skadi. Razor's coming in as well. They know the Roshan was taken down, and now they're backing off as fast as they can because Sync's making the chase. Sync has to use that damn Midas. It's trying to trigger me now, and Lich will end up getting taken down. I'm getting a bit triggered because that Midas has been sitting there for about a minute unused. There it is. We should also point out Sync has a Radiant on the Abaddon.
Yep. Not the fastest Radiance timing considering he went for the Midas first. But, you know, it is here and it's going to deal a lot of damage in these team fights.
Buyback is not coming out from Lich. The Razor starts stealing that attack. The range Rax is gone. It looks like they're going to go on Terrorblade. He's been stunned up. He's in big trouble here. He needs a Sunder. He does use it and takes out the Razor. My apologies. The buybacks, but my goodness, 7 is destroying them at the moment. He's so close to dying. He's 20 HP away, but he's still alive to all this, and he's just standing there attacking, not worried at all. And still goes on an ultra kill, going for a rampage. Doesn't get it quite yet, and now almost got it from Pigpen, but they didn't give it to him. But still, that might be GG. They're going to keep going through the tier 4s here, I think. 7 literally has still not backed off, and he's sitting there on 130 HP.
He's almost got a Sunder.
Well, that's a good point, actually. I did not even think about the Aegis. Slavic Donut. was in a bit of trouble. The tier 4s, they're going down pretty darn fast. It probably would be more effective if they only focused one, but not happening quite yet.
Yeah.
Slavic Donut coming in, Pigpen from the back lines. They took him out as well. I mean, what the hell just happened?
He just tried to finish off this Terrorblade, but the Sunder was there first.
I think this is GG well played. 7. I mean, the Ancient's getting hit, and yeah, they really can't stop this. This is it. GG well played to eLusiV, I think, and yep, there it goes. Wow.
They've had some issues, you know, when it comes to pulls, when it comes to having their players around, but it's still a pretty darn good performance there. Once again, I think it was a bit of a draft win. I'm still questioning this pick for Red 5. I'm really not sure what that Nature's Prophet was meant to achieve against the Spiritbreaker first pick, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, congratulations to eLusiV. I suppose you could argue the better team won, which is, I mean, they won, so I assume they should be considered the better team at this point. They will be going to the grand finals, which is happening in about a week, I believe.
Yeah.
Do we, by any chance...
That should be good.
Do we know who they're versing, by any chance?
I don't think so, but I can load up the brackets right here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the other game hasn't been played yet, but yeah, that's going to be on the 29th, I believe.
Oh.
Nagas with Attitude versus Team Michael Bolton.
Oh, that's right. NWA, the team that I'm scared to cast because of their name. And yeah, Michael Bolton. Do we know who's casting that? Is that us? Are we going to cast that?
That is still up in the air, so yes, we could pick that up.
Well, we may just do that. I believe we're meant to be setting up an interview.
Yeah, we can look into that.
Well, the last time I tried to get 7 in an interview, he responded about, I think, 2 hours after I asked. So
okay.
Should I? I'll
do you
try.
Want to bother trying?
I guess I'll try. We'll find out. Hold on.
Okay.
And shout out to Pigpen for going into Twitch chat and spoiling the result for everyone. Wait, they can't join our thing, can they?
You can invite them to one. So if you invite them to the VIP waiting room, that should be instant invite. So you can just right click on one of the channels and do an instant invite link, and then we can move them in from there.
Or an instant invite. 1 sec. I've invited him. We'll see if 7 wants to show up.
I'll give him a couple of minutes.
Well, he's asking for 5 minutes because apparently the room he's in echoes really bad.
Okay.
I've told him we don't really mind echo. It is Echo League after all, so only makes sense. All right, I'm casually waiting. I've just said screw the echo, just come in and we'll deal with it. So hopefully he just joins the chat and then we can get this interview going. Oh, okay. We need to go to another chat.
All right.
Let's go to like the general one, I guess.
Sure.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, mate?
Pretty good. In the finals, you know.
That is indeed true. You are in the grand finals. Welcome to the interview. I believe it's our first time chatting with you. Last time, we were a bit. There was a bit of confusion, and we were a bit late in getting that interview.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got to ask some questions. First of all, my apologies for calling you 7 even this whole time.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not that clear from the name.
When the boys told me it was actually 7, I felt pretty retarded. So it's pretty darn good. And how's it feel getting to the grand finals of Echo League?
It feels really good. We've gone through a bunch of offlaners this season, and I think we found Sync, and I think he just pulls the team together. We really play well together. It was really good to get to the finals.
I mean, you've certainly deserved it, but more importantly, talk to me about Spirit Breaker, because that's a hero that you guys seem to run quite a lot.
Yeah, Danish, our roamer, when we first started playing as a 5-team, I guess 4 because we hadn't met Sync yet, he did something like 8 games of only Spirit Breaker in a row because he just couldn't play any other heroes. And then he went into Bounty, and then he just started playing other heroes, and it's a comfort pick. He's good at it, and we work well with it.
Going back to game 1, you had the Magnus Juggernaut. I believe, if I remember correctly, at one stage you were 12-0. I mean, you looked pretty darn comfortable on the Jug. How did you feel that game? Because you literally did not drop a kill, a death, I should say.
I'd say in the beginning I was a little bit nervous because we weren't exactly crushing the early laning phases, but once we started grouping up, we started winning fights, and I just started getting my items. It felt like the draft was coming together. We were out farming them. Their Spectre, I don't know if he ever got a Radiance, but he had the relic right before we went high ground. So I think we shut him down well. Our draft just came together.
Well, that's something which I've found a pretty crucial part to your wins, and we casted your last series as well. I do quite like the drafting style coming out, but something that I've noticed is that you're often able to sort of control the early game. Your Spirit Breaker play, you obviously play well around that hero. What happens if that isn't the case, though? What if you're off to a bad start in the laning phase? Is there some sort of B plan for that?
The B plan is really just try to sit back, avoid fights, and just farm up. We don't have like a set. If we're getting behind, then we have to do this, and this. It's more just sacrifice more of the offlaner and the roamer and the position 3, 4, 5, so that Celis Noinai, the midnight, that we can get more of the farm, so that we can make the comeback.
It does seem like a pretty solid plan. So, how long have you guys been playing together then? Is Echo League sort of your first gig?
It's our first tournament as a full team. I met Danish two and a half years ago, and then he introduced me to Stella Scone soon after. So the 3 of us have been playing for years now. Actually, it was the beginning. It was the first Battle Cup of the Kiev Battle Pass. We were looking for a support on the region chat, and we found Dancing Devil, and so we played with him, and then we won the Battle Cup, and he's just been part of the team ever since.
how are you feeling, I should say, like regarding the grand finals? Have you watched the other two potential teams that you could be versing? And if you were to choose one that you'd rather play against, who would it be?
I think the other semifinal is Michael Bolton versus Nagas with Attitude. Yeah. So we played Nagas. They were in our group. We 2-0 them. So we've seen Nagas. We haven't seen Michael Bolton. I'm actually friends with one of their players. We were talking this morning about the Kiev Major. So I think we'd rather, for an easier game, we play Nagas because we know we can beat them. We've done it before. We can do it again. But I think the more exciting game would be Michael Bolton because they have a Meepo player. We have a Meepo player. If the Meepo comes out, I think that'd be pretty exciting.
Also, we could potentially see a Meepo next game.
Maybe.
My goodness.
See.
Well, that's rather exciting. Well, apart from that, I think we're all good, right, Sting?
Yeah.
Well, you have my thanks for probably being the only NAC team that's both teams showing up on time. Me and StinkyPie have been waiting ages for previous games, so it feels good to have two teams show up on time. Always a pleasure when that happens. Again, apologies for calling you 7 even.
It's fine. It's fine.
I like it. I like 7 even, but if you insist, I will call you 7 from this point on. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope for good luck in the grand finals.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. Until next time, it's been StinkyPie and Mike LaPhoenix. We'll catch you guys later.